Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. Now, today is a makeup for yesterday. I apologize for no video yesterday. Owning a pizza shop, sometimes these things happen. Freezers break down, stuff breaks down, and unfortunately, when you're the boss, you got to be there to take care of it. So, unfortunately, we could not do our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay like we were supposed to in yesterday's video. But no worries at all, because we're going to make that up in today's video. So we're going to do what normally happens on Friday, our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. We're going to do it in today's video. We can call it whatever we want. Sexy Saturday, Sensual Saturday. I saw someone in the comments say that. Whatever you want to call it. I guess we'll call it Sexy Saturday. Sexy Saturday 5-leg parlay coming your way in today's video. And like we normally do on Fridays, we will do our Amazon gift card giveaway, where it's very simple. Comment sexy down below in the comments. Normally we'd comment freaky, but we're commenting sexy down below in the comment section. And if this parlay hits, one lucky commenter will win a free $25 Amazon gift card. I do want to remind some people, because there are a couple of the giveaways that have not been claimed yet. When I announce them in the video, the following video, you have to DM me on Instagram at TassosPicks, TASOS Picks, in order for me to get your contact information so we can go ahead and send you the gift card. So we still have, I believe, one giveaway that we're still looking for the person. So if that, I think it's Predator Silver from last week, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look back. But if you guys do win, I'll announce it in the next video. Make sure to DM me on Instagram at TassosPicks, and we'll verify that it was you, and we'll kind of go from there. So again, comment sexy down below in the comment section. And again, if this parlay hits, one lucky commenter win a free $25 Amazon gift card. With that out of the way, guys, let's dive right into today's Sexy Saturday 5-leg parlay. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys, our first leg of our 5-leg parlay comes from the Celtics-Knicks Game 3, 3:30 p.m. tip-off. And as a Boston Celtics fan, I'm sure all my Celtics fans out there are sweating their butts off. Don't want to swear. We've got to make this a child-friendly environment here. First leg of our 5-leg parlay, we're going Josh Hart of the New York Knicks over 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. This is an alternate line. All the legs in today's parlay are alternate lines, and we are using FanDuel for today's parlay. This leg in particular, minus 245 over on FanDuel. And yeah, like I was saying, if you're a Celtics fan, you've got to be sweating this one. This is the season. If you lose this game, the series is over. You're not winning 4 straight versus the Knicks, although they did do it in the regular season. You've got to win this game. In Boston, they should have won the first 2 games. They've choked both of those away. I'm hoping that they can finally make amends and win this one in Madison Square Garden and keep themselves alive in this series, but I don't know. I'm feeling very nervous. Having to work, too, while this game's going to be going on. 3:30 p.m. tip-off is just horrible. Absolutely diabolical that this game is on at 3:30. If you guys are coming into Great Oak Pizza today, I will be wearing my Celtics jersey, and I will be going crazy while also cooking pizza. So if you guys are in the area, come stop by. But this being an alternate line, the data is fantastic. 9 of his last 10 games, Josh Hart has cashed the over. Obviously, 90% hit rate, averaging 27 PRAs per game over his last 10 games. We narrowed down to the last 5, which, of course, the final 3 games of that Pistons series and the first 2 games of the Boston series. He's cashed the over in 5 straight games, all playoff games, averaging 28.8 PRAs per game over his last 5. So really good numbers there. Even from an overall season standpoint, a 74% hit rate on this over for Josh Hart. 63 out of 85 games, including playoffs, he's cashed the over, averaging 28.93 PRAs per game this year. So really good numbers there for Josh Hart from a recent standpoint, from an overall standpoint. In the head-to-head data, 8 of his last 11 matchups with the Boston Celtics, he's cashed the over. That, of course, includes the first 2 games of this series. 73% hit rate across the last 11, averaging 27.45 PRAs per game across the last 11 matchups. If we narrow it down a little bit, though, he's actually cashed the over in 7 of his last 8 versus Boston. And so far this year, they have played 6 times, and he's cashed the over in 5 out of 6 games, including 5 straight. So really good numbers from a head-to-head perspective, from a matchup perspective. Defensively, Boston's actually one of the better teams this year, but so far in this series, it hasn't really mattered. And this Knicks team, the way that Thibodeau runs the system, he's going to play a ton of minutes. 45.2 minutes in Game 1, 42.8 in Game 2. So plenty of usage, plenty of volume. really solid first leg of our 5-leg parlay. Next up, the second leg of our 5-leg parlay. We're going to stick with the Celtics-Knicks game 3. We're going Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics over 24.5 points plus rebounds. Again, high alternate line, minus 245 over on FanDuel. Again, really solid data here. And Jaylen Brown, despite the fact that they've lost the first 2 games, he's actually cashed the over in both games of this series so far. 7 of his last 10. He's cashed the over, averaging 27.3 points plus rebounds per game over his last 10. Again, narrowing down the last 5 games, which is the last 3 games of the Orlando series and the first 2 games of the Knicks series. All 5 of these being playoff games. 5 straight, 100% hit rate, averaging 28.4 points plus rebounds per game over his last 5 games. And again, like most of these players, the usage rate is very high. So far this series, 44.9 minutes in game 1, 41.4 in game 2. Healthy amount of shots. He just hasn't been shooting well. 7 for 20, 8 for 23, but the volume is certainly there, which I think is encouraging because although he already cashed the over in both games, he could have done way better. And I do think, and again, I said this in game 2, I was completely wrong. I think Jaylen Brown is due for a nice little bounce back game here in game 3, him and Tatum. But Tatum, I'm really disappointed with right now. I feel a little safer with Brown, but even the rebound chances, 12 rebound chances in game 1, 13 in game 2. A lot of opportunities. He finished with 20 points and 6 rebounds in game 2. He had 13 rebound chances, so there were 7 rebounds he could have had. And then from a shot perspective, again, 8 for 23. So, 15 shots that he missed, a couple more. I mean, we're talking a massive game. So I do like Jaylen Brown a lot in this spot. And from a head-to-head perspective, not too shabby. Not as impressive as Josh Hart's numbers, but 6 of his last 11 matchups versus the Knicks, he's cashed the over. That's a 55% hit rate, averaging 23.64 points plus rebounds per game across the last 11 matchups with the New York Knicks. And even from an overall season standpoint, a 70% hit rate on this over for Jaylen Brown. So pretty good value here. The Knicks defensively, obviously, they're a pretty solid team, especially down low in the perimeter. You've got Mikal Bridges mostly guarding Jaylen Brown. You've also got Josh Hart guarding Jaylen Brown, Anunoby. You've got those 3 guys that can throw at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which makes things difficult. But I do like Jaylen Brown in this spot. And again, he's already cashed it both times in this series while shooting terribly, less than 40% from the floor. He shoots a little bit better. We could have a really solid cash in our hands here. All right, guys, the third leg of our 5-leg parlay. We're sticking one more player prop here with the Celtics-Knicks game. We're going Derek White of the Boston Celtics over 18.5 points plus assists, minus 220 over on FanDuel. And the data is absolutely phenomenal on this player prop. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 22.8 points plus assists per game over his last 10. Narrow it down again to the last 5 games. All of these, of course, being playoff games. 4 of his last 5, he's cashed the over, including both games of this Knicks series so far. And if you look down below, again, like I mentioned, the minutes, 44.1 minutes in game 1, 40 minutes in game 2. The usage rate and volume is certainly there for Derek White. And similar to basically every Celtics player so far in the series, they're just not shooting well, but the volume is there. 18 shots in game 1, 17 shots in game 2, but both games shooting 33%, 35%. So again, and he cashed the over in both those games. That's the impressive part with both the Jaylen Brown and the Derek White prop. They both have a 100% hit rate so far in the 2-game series up to now, but they're not even playing that great. So if they play a little bit better, I have no doubt they should cash these lines. So the volume is there, the usage is there. I mean, the overall data is phenomenal. 77% hit rate on the year for Derek White. 64 out of 83 games, including playoffs, he's cashed the over, averaging 21.27 points plus assists per game overall this year. And very similar to the Josh Hart prop, 8 of his last 11 matchups with the Knicks, he's cashed the over. That's a 73% hit rate against New York across the last 11 games, averaging 20.09 points plus assists per game over the last 11 matchups with the Knicks. And honestly, if we really go ahead and narrow this down, 8 of his last 9 matchups with New York, he's cashed the over, including 100% hit rate so far this year. They played 6 times this year, 6-0 this year against the Knicks. So really good numbers. And the Knicks this year versus shooting guards, it is kind of one of their weaker points, 22nd in points allowed, 14th in assists allowed. So really solid matchup here for Derek White. That's the third leg of our 5-leg parlay. All right, guys, for the final 2 legs of our 5-leg parlay, we're now going to shift gears over to Timberwolves Warriors game 3, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Julius Randle as the 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay over 4.5 assists. Now, I had a player prop similar to this in Thursday's parlay that did lose, unfortunately. We had 2 out of 4 legs hit. One of them was this Randle prop, which I was 100% on the money with. He had 11 assists in game 2, so really solid numbers there. Now, unlike the 3 player props I've shown so far in this video, despite this being an alternate line, the data is not phenomenal. Now, 6 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 5.2 assists per game over his last 10. So far in the postseason, he's played 7 playoff games. He's cashed the over in 4 out of 7. He's cashed in the first 2 games of the Lakers series and now the first 2 games of the Warriors series. But looking at the overall numbers, again, not all that impressive. 46% hit rate on the year, 35 out of 76 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 4.76 assists per game this year. And from a head-to-head perspective, the data is not terrible, but it's not overwhelmingly great. 3 of his last 6 matchups with the Golden State Warriors, all taking place this year, by the way. So 6 times he played them this year as a member of the Timberwolves. In all 6 games, he's cashed it in 3 out of 6. So he's averaging 5.33 assists per game. He's cashed in 3 of the last 4 if we narrow it down a little bit. Like I said, for an alternate line, not the best numbers, but why I like this a lot is the first 2 games of the series. You've seen how this has gone. And like I talked about a little bit in Thursday's video, one of the big reasons why I liked Minnesota trading for Randall, and I get it, at first it seemed idiotic. I actually think the trade has aged well for both teams. I think the Knicks made out well with Towns, although you do see his limitations in New York at times. I also think that this has kind of worked out for Minnesota in a really good way. Randall has actually been a solid fit. Dante DiVincenzo, when he's been healthy, has been a solid role player for them. I don't know what the future holds. I mean, this was obviously a salary move, so they don't have to pay Towns. But Randall has been a solid short-term option for Minnesota. Beyond being a great scorer, which he has been, especially in the playoffs, he's also a very good facilitator, and that's what we've really got to see shine in the first 2 games of this Warriors series, how he can affect the offense, not just from a scoring perspective, but from a passing perspective. And I'm not just talking out of my ass here. There's literally talking out of my butt here. There's legitimate data to back this up, looking at the first 2 games of the series. So again, he's cashed in both games, 6 assists in game 1, 11 assists in game 2. Overall this year, the Warriors, they're middle of the road, 13th in assists allowed to the power forward position, giving up 4.3 assists per game to opposing power forwards. And truth be told, he's not even playing a crazy amount of minutes so far in this series. 30.6 in game 1, 32.9 in game 2. So not even playing an insane amount of minutes, but 11 potential assists in game 1, 14 potential assists in game 2. He's averaging 11.4 potential assists over his last 5 games. Minnesota is calling upon him to go ahead and help facilitate, because if you really look at how their offense runs, obviously a lot of it flows through Anthony Edwards, but Randall has been a really big help, and I think that's not going to change in this series. If Minnesota wants to make a really deep playoff run, which I think they can, especially with the injury to Curry, really makes things difficult for Golden State, I think that Julius Randle can really have a big impact here. And the Warriors defensively kind of demand that he does, because they do have a lot defensively. They have a lot of things you can throw at you. Kuminga's a solid athletic defender. Jimmy Butler, I mean, you can go on and on. The Warriors have solid defensive pieces. And so that demands that Randle take on a bigger role, because Anthony Edwards just simply cannot do it all himself. He's also a little bit injured now, so really a lot more pressure falls on Randle, especially coming into game 3. So I like the spot a lot. Again, he had 11 assists in game 2. He only needs 5. So you can literally cut that in half. Even if he has 6 assists, which is 5 fewer than the last game, he still cashes the over. So I love this a lot as the 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay. And wrapping things up, guys, our 5th and final leg in today's parlay, we're going Rudy Gobert of the Minnesota Timberwolves under 10.5 points, minus 250 over on FanDuel. The overall data actually isn't great on this season, just a 47% hit rate on this under. 37 out of 79 games, he's cashed the under, and he averaged 11.66 points per game this year. However, if we narrow it down to the playoffs, they've not been as kind. He's played 7 games so far this postseason. That's the 5 games in the Lakers series and the 2 games thus far in the Golden State series. He's cashed the over in just 1 of those 7 games. That, of course, being that pivotal game 5 against the Lakers where he went ballistic with 27 points. But the rest of this playoffs, he's really been really bad. I mean, so far in the Golden State series, he had 9 points in game 1, 5 points in game 2. And these first 2 round matchups have been kind of the worst case scenario for him. They're both teams that utilize a lot of small ball lineups. That makes it kind of virtually impossible to play Gobert consistently. I mean, you can see his minutes, 30.4 minutes, but look at the playoffs so far, 24, 28, 25, 26, 26, 26. He's not playing a ton compared to the end of the regular season. 36 minutes against Memphis, 33 minutes versus Brooklyn, almost 39 minutes versus Utah. I mean, this is the last 20 games. This is the end of the regular season through the first 2 rounds thus far of the playoffs. Look at how the minutes have changed. Okay, he was playing consistently over 34 minutes a game consistently, right? And now coming to the playoffs, where most people, their numbers go up, his numbers go down. He's only, besides game 5 where he played almost 39 minutes, the rest of this postseason, Minnesota has had to bench him way more often than he's used to. So I do like that. Obviously, that part of it plays a big role here. But also Minnesota, they're just not looking for him to do anything shot-wise. I mean, he only took 4 shots in game 2, 7 shots in game 1, He didn't take a single shot in that Lakers game 3. They're just not asking him. And honestly, Golden State, despite the fact that they do play small ball lineups, they actually have a pretty good defense versus centers. I think the big reason why those numbers versus centers are so low is because you can't play traditional centers against Golden State, which is why Naz Reid continues to be a solid option for player props in this series. I had him a couple times now, and he's came through for me. Don't have him here because he sometimes, I get a little wishy-washy with Naz Reid. But they've leaned into Naz Reid and Randall as their two bigs more often than Gobert because Gobert, he's a little bit slower, not as athletically gifted, and so Gobert kind of gets pushed off the court. So I think his under of 10.5 points here. Now, could you have a Lakers Game 5 scenario where he gets burned here with 27 points? I guess it's possible. Anything's possible, really. But I do like the under a lot. And even from a head-to-head perspective, 6 of his last 9. We'll go ahead and pause for the applause. 6 of his last 9 matchups versus Golden State, he's actually cashed the under, including 4 of his last 5. So really good numbers. Now, so far this year, they played 6 times this year. He's cashed the under in 4 out of 6. 2 times this year, he cashed the over. Their first meeting back on December 6th, he had 17 points. And another meeting on December 21st, he had 18 points. So it's not impossible for him to score on this Golden State team. But again, 4 of his last 6, 6 of his last 9, 67% hit rate over the last 9 matchups. He's cashed the under. So pretty solid numbers across the board here. Risky, yes, but of course, we're sports betting guys. Everything's risky. So jumping on over to FanDuel, guys. Quick little run through of our 5-leg parlay. Rudy Gobert under 10.5 points. Julius Randle over 4.5 assists. Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points plus rebounds. Derek White over 18.5 points plus assists. And Josh Hart over 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. You parlay all 5 together over on FanDuel, and you got a parlay of plus 537 odds. So pretty good value on our Sexy Saturday 5-leg parlay. And guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching one more time. Please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. No videos tomorrow for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope all you guys, husbands, sons, fathers, whatever, you guys all have a beautiful Mother's Day with your loved ones tomorrow. Like I said, no video from me tomorrow. I don't do videos on Sunday anyways, but obviously, being Mother's Day on top of it, especially no video tomorrow. So we'll be back on Monday with another NBA player prop video. But until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Mother's Day. And let's go ahead and make some money.